So what I've been doing lately is that I've been asking a lot of my participants to, when they do their wellness plan, to also add to that a daily mantra. Something that they create rather than something that they look in a book and get. By creating it, it has a lot more meaning to them, I think. For them to, as they go through their daily plan, to say this mantra every single morning, whether they want to or not. They say it. This is one that I do every morning, and it says, "I now release the weight of old stories, past wounds, and every energy that no longer serve my highest path. I let go with love. I forgive myself. I free myself. I am no longer defined by fear, doubt, or limitation. I choose peace. I choose power. I choose presence. I welcome miracles. I welcome expansions. I welcome a new version of me. And I am ready to receive now. I am open to abundance now. I am safe, supported, and deeply loved." And so this is something that I repeat every single morning before I leave the house as part of my daily ritual that I go through. And it really sustains me throughout the entire day because I try to live the day by living this way. You know, it's almost like an intention that is set for the day.
It's an excellent intention. I think that every day, especially for women, because I can't speak from your perception,
Right.
but I've noticed that women are always saying, "I'm sorry for something." We're always apologizing for almost being. Like everything is always our fault, or how we perceive it to be. So I just say to myself, I welcome new opportunities. I love that, the magic. I'm going to include that for myself.
Yeah.
The magic of new beginnings.
Yes.
The magic of new beginnings. And I released yesterday.
Yeah.
It's over, it's done. What did I learn? What could I have done differently? And just let it and move on from there.
I did a meditation, and in the group, before I started the group, I said, when you're doing this meditation about being present, if you're falling asleep, you're not present. And there are many ways that you can fall asleep. You don't necessarily have to physically go to sleep, but your mind can go elsewhere and not be present in this moment. So I'm challenging you now to stay right here, right now, and be a part of this meditation. And I said, let's see if you can do it. And they all stayed awake.
Wow.
Because normally at least a couple of them would fall asleep.
Interesting.
But they all stayed awake.
They just needed the encouragement.
That's what it is.
I think it's also, people love to be noticed and to feel that they are cared for.
Yes.
And when you pay special attention, whether, even by saying, "Hey, could you please stay awake?" It means, wow, Gerald saw me today.
So that definitely works when you do that.
Yeah.
Just care. But that's what Thomas's Hope is all about.
Absolutely.
I remember, I started using the word, when I speak with someone on the phone for the first time, my first words are always, "How can I support you?" And I noticed that it makes a huge difference in the way they respond when they come on, because immediately they feel safe, I believe.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. How can I be of service to you? It's not what are you going to do for me?
Right.
How can I support you in this moment?
Yeah.
How can I be of service to you? I am here to be of service to you.
Yes.
That's something that I like to say to people.
I think it gives them also permission to speak about how they are feeling.
And request what they need.
Exactly.
Yeah. Permission to ask for what they need.
Yeah. I started doing that when I first came here. In fact, you're the one who told me about that, and I started using it, and I find it really opens the conversation up when you do that.
I also believe that many people, when you are with clinicians, and this is not a dig or anything else, they are afraid to be vulnerable for fear of what they're writing down, for fear of what they're going to think of them.
Yeah.
So when you can just be yourself with no criticism or judgment or no diagnosis code going to be written down, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I can really truly be myself.
Yeah.
And I know I have experienced that with so many people that they feel safe and secure to tell us things that they don't share with their counselors and
Sure.
clinicians.
I just had a new person come in, and she said that. She actually said that. Said, I haven't told my therapist that. And then she said, I'm not even sure why I told you.
Because she felt safe.
Yeah, she felt safe. Yeah.
You know, I've had to be debriefed with counselors afterwards, and of course the counselor can't disclose what's being said, and this was really at a treatment facility upstate New York that this would happen.
Yeah.
But it gives a counselor a pathway to where they could go with this person in a safe way, you know.
Yeah. So having said that, Linda, it just came to mind. I wanted to ask you about what you think about this. It says, I think his name was Gabor Mate. Somebody says,
Our friend.
our friend, yes. 99% of people believe their circumstances create their reality.
Well, I know that I create my own reality.
Right?
And I have to believe, you know, I can't blame my issues on the outside world because I am in control of myself
Yeah.
100% of the time.
For sure. Yeah.
I may not always make the best decisions in those moments, but then I can reflect and say, I won't make that mistake again, right?
Yeah. I mean, in fact, he said it's your perception that creates your reality.
Well, you could
Which is
either
so
be a
true.
victim, right?
Yes.
And too many people have a victim mentality that things are happening to them, when in fact they're just not moving out of the way or controlling their
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's one of the messages that that needs to be put out there more often. You know, that in fact they have 100% control over what happens in their life, as long as they begin to see it in a particular way, in a positive way. That is. Right?
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of times we hear I lost privileges because this is what happened to me. No, you had to control how you reacted
Yeah.
to what happened to you.
Yeah.
And that's what the issue is.
Yeah, and a lot of people just don't get that.
No, they do
Yeah.
not get that. They don't want to get that because that requires personal responsibility.
And that's where a lot of the fear comes in.
Oh,
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
What we try to do here at Thomas's Hope is to tap into other modalities that create a pathway of, right, feeling good inside someone's body. So many people, and we have experienced unbelievable things here, right, Gerald, at an open mic night
Yeah.
with someone saying, I'm not going to perform, and then they write this poem that literally brings you to your knees in tears because their feelings came out in such a way that that's all been bottled up. But
Yeah.
it's the modality of
Yeah.
being able to say it in a way, right? Whether it's a poem or a song or a dance,
Yeah, one of the things that we discover.
profound.
One of the things that we discover in those moments is that, you know, we're not necessarily who we think we are. These ideas of these labels that we take on through our experiences truly limits us. And in those moments, what I notice is that some people realize that we are not the limits of those labels.
Absolutely
You
correct.
know, we may think we're this way, but as we go through this experience and is connecting with people around us, divinity that comes from that, and a greater connection to each other, and therefore to what is. It opens us up.
It just opens us up.
Yeah.
I just love to watch people find that takes the place of, right, of substance use disorder, that if music creates this happiness inside of them,
Yeah.
or an escape, It really is. You can escape into music, whether you're listening to it, writing it, singing it. That's just an escape into a world that
Yeah.
brings you much pleasure, which you could identify, right,
Absolutely.
to what drugs would do.
Who we truly are.
We humans are playful, and they
Yes.
should be having fun, right?
Oh.
They should be having fun. Life should be enjoyed.
I saw a video once with the Dalai Lama and a man named Bishop Desmond Tutu. He's like one of the spiritual leaders of South Africa.
Yes.
And they were there talking to each other, and they were so playful and joyful, you know. In fact, out of that video eventually came a book that they wrote called Joy, and they both really speak to this what we're talking about here. Where it's so important even as you get older to make sure that you reclaim that joyful part of who
That
you are.
fun.
Yeah.
Nothing brings you more fun than, when I'm with my little ones, that just to slow down and, you have to remember what a 20-month-old baby is looking at, right? And just to slow down and to be fascinated by a flower and how that can just make you laugh.
Jump in the puddle, right?
Jump in the puddle. Jump in the puddle.
Yeah, and just have that experience.
Yeah.
I think at times it's so we try to remind people that a lot.
Be silly.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Laugh. It's not all that serious.
Having said that, right, we have now what is called
The cafe.
a Cafe Hope here at Townsend Soap, where you can come in and recapture your essential nature, which is to be at peace, be comforted, feel connection to each other,
Have a meal with someone else and not be
Yes,
alone.
and not be alone. Yeah. There's a young lady who came in today, and she came in and she just wanted a place that was quiet to study. And so she sat in Cafe Hope and did some studying and had a cappuccino, had a latte, and I stepped out and left her there. Came back in about an hour later, and she's there with her thing studying, and I see her head going like this. She was having so much fun,
Yeah. Well, she was safe.
Yeah.
Not a lot of safe spaces in the world for too many people.
No.
By tapping into arts and crafts, that some people just have an unbelievable artistry for themselves, and the music. And, listen, we also do PJ parties, right? And movie night, and just come in your pajamas.
Yeah.
It's just having fun. And when you see a bunch of grown men having spa day and them enjoying it so much.
That surprised me.
It still surprises you, Gerald. I know that. But
it surprises
self-care
me.
is self-care, right?
These guys come in and it's interesting because on a spa day, oftentimes we have more men here than ladies.
100%.
Yeah.
They ask for a spa day more than the women do.
Yeah. It still surprised me. Yeah.
It's still, because some of them don't look like they would spa.
No, these guys, yeah.
It's just finding whatever it is for that person in that moment. And, everyone evolves. You may like that for now. You may not like that, in 6 months. But it's connecting.
I stopped by Saturday. I was here Saturday. I stopped by for a little while, and there was all guys in there, and they were watching a scare movie. And they weren't sleeping. Everybody was attuned to the movie, and even talking to the TV and talking to each other, and and just having a great time. And I'm sitting, I'm thinking, wow, these are all grown men.
So substance use disorder just takes so much away from someone. Society makes that person feel less than, like there's something wrong with them. And all those awful names that go along with that, right? Junkie, scumbag, all of those
crackhead
things that should never be said to another human being, right? That stigma of substance use disorder. And, and they're disconnected from everyone in their life. Yes, and some people will say, well, that's their choice. They made one bad choice, and then a disease took over. So we need to remember that they're sick. They're not bad, they're sick.
Yeah.
So when you come into a place of wellness and you can have fun and be with other people that have walked the same pathway and are still trying to walk towards wellness.
And be reminded that you're not what you do.
You're not
It's
what
who
you do.
are. It's not who you are.
It's not who you
Yeah.
are. It's not your story. I know for myself, I have probably about a dozen people that text me on their anniversary to tell me thank you for all I did. You know, and I don't take any credit for anything other than
Right.
being a helping hand, because that individual has done all the hard work to get themselves where they are. But they do remember who showed, shine the flashlight on the path for them and just made life just that much simpler. Whether it was a ride to treatment, whether it was finding treatment, whether all of those things that go along with that. Because someone who is deep in their substance use cannot make those. It's very difficult to make those calls and to
Right.
follow through,
Right.
because you are dealing with an awful lot of emotion,
Yeah.
an awful lot of, discomfort from not using, all of those things. And so many of our folks we have seen have burned bridges with their families and friends and
Yeah.
loved ones. But when I get those texts every year, it just makes my heart
Yeah.
feel good, right?
I mean,
and we do have plenty of success stories, and we do
Yeah.
have folks that, may be successful or, be in recovery for a period of time and stumble and fall, and we help them back up again.
I get quite a few of those quite often, but there's one of the ones that's really stand out for me is a young lady that I met. I would say probably about 10 years ago, and she came into a program that I was, and my first impression is that I don't think she's gonna make it. She was so detached from who she was, but she stayed the program, she stayed the path. She was on my caseload for a little while, and then she left. And today she owns her own construction company.
Wow.
She has 3 children, and she posts quite often, and a husband. And recently she was posting some stuff where she went on vacation with her children and her husband and her grandmother, and I saw, and I looked at it and I commented on it, and then she replied back, and she says, Gerald, it is because of you.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, because
It's a profound moment to have.
Yeah.
Listen, we can all go back in our lives, and
Yeah.
maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a coach, maybe it
Yes.
was a certain person that made that impact on you.
Yes.
Such a
Yes.
big impact on you. So I don't take that lightly.
No,
It's an honor for me to help anyone.
it is. It's part of the human way to be.
Yes.
It's what we should be doing as human beings. Far too often we really view this relationship as more of a separate thing rather than a very unified and connected relationship. And so when we do that, it's just being human.
At the very beginning of my journey, really coming into this right after my son passed, I felt like I needed to. I carried a lot of weight of young
Yeah.
men because
Yeah.
I saw my son in that, and I don't mind sharing that. I heard clear as day my higher power say to me, "Why are you carrying all of these people? That's not what I asked you to do. I
Right.
asked you to plant a seed, and you keep walking.
Yeah.
The rest is not your job." I thought to myself, that felt a little callous, but it's not, because it's
No.
not my job. It's not my job.
Yeah. You did what you had.
I
needed
did
to
what
do.
I had to do,
Yeah.
And I would do it again and continually, right?
I mean, just the idea of setting up Thomas's Hope for me, really is a place where that really speaks to truly what it is to be a person of God and understand that your job on this earth is to support each other.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's what I've always wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I think that we, as compared to, I don't compare ourselves to other providers simply because no one here is a number. They are a person, they are an individual, and they are going to get 100% of my attention
Yeah.
and my ability to help them in that moment.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. And I
Each and every person, each and every family, because that's what they're deserving of.
Yeah. And that is truly the energy here and the intention here, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change anything. I don't need, none of us need accolades or anything
No.
else. Just doing the right thing is more than enough.
Yeah. Recently, I started going to the gym, and I Planet Fitness,
Yes.
and I see on the window, I see 24/5. Now I'm used to 24/7.
Right.
They put 24/5. I think for us it's 24/7, 24/5. It's just 24.
It's just 24. Listen,
Yeah.
I was on vacation and I fielded quite a few text messages.
Yeah.
And just because I was away doesn't mean that I wouldn't be
Yeah.
available to help someone. In the middle of the night, I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
That I will share with
Yeah.
everyone. I
Yeah.
don't, because there's nothing I can do in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it is important that we all rest.
Yeah, for me, between 10 and 4,
Yeah.
you won't get me because I'm sleeping.
Yes.
What I've been doing recently is that I've literally been taking my phone and leaving it on the dining room table.
Yes.
Yeah, it's important because you can't pour from an empty cup.
You cannot pour from an
So
empty
it's
cup.
important to make sure that you fill your cup at nights, get some rest. And
There is nothing that we won't try for anyone in any circumstance.
Yeah.
We cannot always do exactly what you need, but we certainly can come as close as we possibly can.
absolutely.
We are here to serve a community. It is not what I think or Gerald thinks or anyone else that works here what we think you need. You need to tell us what you need,
Yes.
and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
It's an open partnership. That's how I always love to think of it. We are just here to be of service and to be your partner in creating, whether it's educational or vocational, a pathway to a life worth living.
Yeah. No one. What I've found working here is that no one is above rolling their sleeve up and doing the work that's needed.
Absolutely.
I just love that idea and that commitment.
And we are out, right? We're out in the community all the time. We handing out snack bags just because so many people are down on their luck, right?
Yeah.
And harm reduction bags, and just to be there and to always show up with kindness and with love will change someone's perspective on where their life should be going.
I remember a couple of weeks ago I got some new cards, and I think there was probably about 60 cards, and I got it on a Friday, and by the time I came back to work on a Monday, they were gone. The world doesn't really stop. When you go out in the society, you see people. Yes, we do need to have boundaries.
Yes.
I think I speak for everyone here at Thomas's Hope. We're here to make a difference, to make sure that this epidemic that has been plaguing us for such a long time, at some point come to an end.
You know what I'd love to talk to you about, Gerald, is we get stuck on this opioid epidemic. We get stuck on substances. The substance is so unimportant when we talk about substance use disorder and or mental health issues. Which came first, right? The chicken or the egg? We don't know if mental illness is primary or substance use disorder is primary, but the substance is so unimportant.
Yes.
It's opiates today, but we certainly have seen crack cocaine and meth back on the rise, and there will always be a substance.
It's not a major issue.
It isn't.
No.
It's knowing that someone is trying to escape
Yes.
and not feel their feelings because their feelings are frightening or so painful that they cannot live in them. And
Absolutely.
I wish that every person that's dealing with someone struggling with substance use could understand that and have empathy and compassion for that person.
Absolutely. 100% of us who have gone through this, who have this disease, have mental issues.
I would agree with you.
Because it is the body's built-in response of always wanting pleasure, and now when pain comes, it's trying to push it away.
Yes.
And we have somehow found that this drug does it for a little while, this drink does it for a little while. You know, the thing is that those solutions are not sustainable.
Correct.
And so you know, you just have to keep doing it.
Yes.
And then there's a physical reaction that comes from that, and that compounds the problem. But the major problem is really how you're perceiving the things around you.
Yes.
You know, they say something that like 20% or 30% of the people who went to Vietnam came back with trauma, and the others did not. It just simply by the way that they saw what was going on, how they viewed what was going on.
And there's also the resilience of the human spirit.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
some people can come through things and others can't.
Yes.
And that's simply just how they're built.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
And how they process things.
So kind of that glass half full or half empty perspective that you have.
Yes.
I mean,
But absolutely. But you and I could go through the same experience, and you could be absolutely devastated, and I could be like, all right,
yeah,
let's go on.
that happens more time than not.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
You know, we talk about childhood traumas or all different things. So when someone is not acknowledged for what they have had happen to them, you know, whereby some people will say, oh, get over it, it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was for that person.
Absolutely.
You know, and then not being validated in what you've experienced and what you are feeling, again, sends a message to you.
Yeah.
I am not worthy of having someone feel for me, right?
Yes.
To acknowledge me.
And that's why the care and the concern and the love that exhibited here at Thomas's Hope really is a foundation for that person's growth and that person's wellness at some, you know, as they go forward, because they now begin to see some worth in themselves.
Yes.
You know, once they're being shown this, you know, and since I've been here, that's all I've seen.
It's just watering the seeds, right?
Yeah.
Just continually letting them
Yeah.
blossom into the person that they could be.
Absolutely.